Well, hello everyone and good evening. Welcome to the adventures of Froggy T and Bunny. I got a whole song for it. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. Come on, everybody, they're leading the way. Froggy T and Bunny have adventures every day. These hip hop tales show us how to get along so we can hop positively through our life song. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. All right. Right. I sound like one of them people on them television shows from back in the day. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this evening's special edition and pop up because it's International Anti Bullying Prevention Day. I didn't even know it was a thing, but I have international colleagues who let me know that it is a thing. And so, The Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny, we have two books which really talk about bullying and what to do. And the first one is Bunny Gets Bullied. And the second one is Froggy-Fu and Mungoo, which is a response to Bunny Gets Bullied. So I'm going to play Bunny Gets Bullied first. It is a digital audio book with voiceovers. I had two voiceover artists join me. Stephanie Renee plays the voice of Bunny, and Vishane Frederick plays the voice of Froggy T, as well as the Bully Brothers. And then I am your narrator. So, oh, and Stephanie also plays the voice of Mama Madge, who you'll meet in this story as well. All right, so let's see. Let me get everything up and running so that we can watch the first episode. Good evening, everyone who is joining us. Hello, little ones. All right, let's see what we have. Let's get it up and playing. Bunny was on her way home from school one day when she heard something that made her run away. The house was being disrupted by something uncomfortable and new. This sound came from outside of her being. She heard it before she even started seeing those responsible for this unnerving noise. Then she turned the corner and saw it was the dreadfully mean Bull Lee boys. There was Bull Lee Ray, Bull Lee Tim, and baby Bull Lee Jerome, who actually said,
Bunny, you better run on home.
they laughed, pointed, and sang a song that made her cower, thump, and run along. Each of them a different size, singing together, trying to harmonize. The message that they began to send let Bunny know that she was not their friend. Their song was so frightening, intimidating, and scary that Bunny's tail fluffed up and got really hairy. The white of her tail began to flash, and she ran home like she was in a 100-meter dash. The whole time, the Bull Lee brothers laughed and thought it was funny, and they kept on singing.
Bunny better have my money. Bunny better have my money.
Bunny had never felt so scared before. She hopped so fast she dropped her books at the front door. Her mother said,
Bunny, what's wrong, my dear?
she could see in Bunny's eyes that Bunny was filled with fear.
Mom, it was awful. They kept singing that song. I felt threatened and nervous as I hopped along. My heart was racing and my breath got heavy. This bullying experience, I was not ready. Mom, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to handle a bully. Do you?
Bunny and her mother talked for a while as they cut up carrots into a large pile. Her mother knew that talking would help Bunny calm down, and cutting the carrots would give Bunny a chance to expound on her thoughts and feelings about the day and how maybe she could make the bullies go away. That night, as Bunny lay in her bed, she thought about what her mother had said.
Bunny, some bullies were once bullied too, and their being mean really isn't about you.
She asked Bunny if there had been a conflict that wasn't resolved, but Bunny explained they had never been involved. Her mother reminded her that she hadn't done anything wrong and that some don't know how to get along. She looked at Bunny and told her to
Always be brave. And although you might want to bully back, that's not the best way to behave.
Bunny's mother even said that she was proud Bunny asked for her help instead of hiding what happened inside and dealing with it by herself. Before she drifted off to sleep in her bed, Bunny journaled and imagined how she could handle this situation in her head. The next day, when it was time to go to school, Bunny still felt nervous, but tried to play it cool. She kept thinking about the day before and hesitated before she walked out the door. Down the usual path she went before she heard someone say,
That smells like a familiar scent.
it was the Bully brothers back at it again, but this time would be different because she was with a friend. As Bunny hopped closer, the Bully brothers were surprised to see that she was walking with her best bud, Froggy-T. At first, Bunny wanted to run and hide, but then Froggy-T said,
Remember your pride.
so Bunny stopped hopping and took some deep breaths. That helped her to stop worrying and let her nerves get some rest. Bunny could feel herself starting to think, and she noticed her knees stop going clinkety clink clink. As they stood under the tree, Froggy-T played a song that helped Bunny process and become calm. Froggy-T then turned to Bunny and said,
Don't let the Bully Brothers' mean words stay in your head. Bunny, remember, you're brave and courageous too. So don't let the Bully Brothers or their song scare you.
at that very moment, her courage to face her fears started to grow. And it helped that she didn't have to face the Bully brothers solo. She refused to be a victim all over again and knew this bullying experience had to come to an end. Froggy-T and Bunny talked about taking a different path, and Froggy-T even tried to make Bunny laugh. But Bunny knew this fear she had to face so she could get back to her life's rhythm and hopping at her own pace. So Bunny took some more deep breaths and closed her eyes. Knowing that overcoming this fear would be the prize, she activated her internal valor, which enabled her to walk by the Bully brothers and not cower. She said to herself,
They will leave me be when they see that they don't have any power over me.
and sure enough, Bunny began to feel stronger. The fear that was there had gone and existed no longer. The Bully brothers eventually stopped singing, and Bunny returned to her normal state of being.
She was back to being calm, cool, and courageous too. So that's the story about how Bunny handled the Bully brothers. What would you do?
All right, so there is the first story of Bunny Gets Bullied, and that is available in print and digital audiobook, as you just saw. And it gives a lot of tips and strategies on how to deal with a bully. Of course, one of the first things is to make sure that you tell someone, right? You saw that Bunny told her mother, and she also told her friend. And that's very important that you do. And it doesn't matter how old you are, because even as adults, people can experience bullying in the workplace, at home, in neighborhoods. And it's important that you tell people. And you keep telling people until somebody hears you, listens to you, and helps you. Okay, so make sure that you're always telling. It also talked about how she took some deep breaths, because deep breaths help our nervous system get some rest. It also helps us to be able to think, because when we're scared, we're not able to think as clearly. So we want to make sure that we take our deep breaths. We also want to make sure that we journal. If you notice, Bunny was journaling throughout the story so that she could think about why she was nervous and scared, and put all the feelings that she had. But she was also visualizing and thinking about how she wanted things to go. And that is very important as well. And there were a couple tips that her mother gave her. And one of the big ones was that even though she was being bullied, she might want to bully back, and that's not the best way to behave. Sometimes when someone bullies us, we want to become a bully because we want it to stop. But we don't want to adopt those behaviors that we are working against. We want to make sure that we're true to ourselves and that we're being ourselves at all times. Another point that was in the story that's important is Bunny's mother asked Bunny, had she been in a conflict with the Bully brothers that hadn't been resolved? Like, had they gotten into an argument or a disagreement? Had something happened between them? But Bunny explained to her mother that they had never been involved before. So the Bully brothers were teasing her and saying things to her that were making her very uncomfortable. They said that she was intimidated, she was nervous, she was scared, and she knew that she didn't want to keep feeling those feelings, right? She wanted to get back to how she normally felt. And so in the story, we see that by her talking with her mother and getting her mother's support, and it could be a mother, a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, a godparent, any adult that you feel comfortable with. And then she also talked with her friend, who encouraged her to empower her, not just coming to her rescue, made sure that Bunny could find that inner strength, her inner valor. All right. And here's the thing, I use a lot of different words in the book, and I also provide a glossary in the back of every book to make sure that you're learning these new words so that you're able to use them. So, Bunny activated her internal valor, which is another way of saying that she activated her courage. All right. So now here's the thing. Sometimes when we are being bullied or when a loved one is being bullied, we do want to retaliate. And that's where the story Froggy-Fu and Mungoo comes into play. So let me see here. I'm going to pull this story up just now and we can take a look at Froggy-Fu and Mungoo. Now, my voiceover artists are still working on this one, so I am going to read it to you. So let's see here. All right, there we go. All right. So here is Froggy-Fu and Mungoo, and all books are available on Amazon. And you can always go to my website as well, askdrwalls.com. All right, here we go. The day Bunny was bullied, she called Froggy T sounding so upset. As her friend, he wanted to do something that he wouldn't regret. To be honest, some retaliation thoughts did cross his mind, and he thought about turning into Froggy Fu just one more time. Who is Froggy Fu? I hear some of you ask. Oh, that's the name that Froggy T used to use when he would wear his ninja mask. See, when Froggy T was a young tadpole, he used to imagine what it would have been like if he were born a ferocious dragon. As a tadpole, Froggy T was tiny and sometimes scared of others because every so often he was picked on by his older brothers. So he thought, I'm gonna puff up my chest and look really mean and become the toughest, leanest fighting green machine. I'll blow fire whenever I get super mad. Oh, how I'm gonna show them all who's really bad. Froggy T had this image of himself as one tough dude that led him to actually acting really rude. His parents, teachers, and loved ones began to worry when they saw him enjoy bullying others and laugh when he made them scurry. Froggy T would put on his ninja mask and cause disruption all over the place. He would even ask people if they felt froggy and jump in their face. The Bully brothers and Froggy T became very fast friends, at least until Mungoo came to town and ventured in. Mungoo was balanced, grounded, cool, and very observant. He introduced Froggy T to martial arts, but wondered if he'd learn it. Beyond the fighting, imitating, intimidating, breaking boards and stuff, to be honest, Froggy T used to only do it so others would think he was tough. At first, Froggy T didn't know the martial arts would calm his insides down. It even helped him realize where his actions were bound, to take him if he didn't get it together and make decisions that would make his life so much better. I know we all now think of Froggy T as being a calm and cool dude, but he used to spend a lot of time being in a really bad mood. And then one day Mungoo really made it click when he said, Froggy T fighting and being mean doesn't have to be your shtick. I want you to think about what you really want in life and how you can achieve it without causing so much strife. There is so much greatness inside of your being, and I see more in you than I think you are seeing. Let's take the time to look inward and discover the real Froggy T and stop relying on this make believe cover. This dragon persona that's created, this dragon persona that you created that's a bully with bully friends is unequivocally overrated. Mungoo's comments really hit home because Froggy T's bullying and mean reputation had surely grown. Froggy T had become the ferocious dragon that he thought he wanted to be. But upon reflection, he admitted, this super mean dude really isn't me. As he sat, he contemplated about how he wanted to feel, interact with others, and how to keep it real. He realized that he didn't want animosity to lead him astray. Instead, he wanted peace to lead and guide the way. He also wanted to treat others the way he wanted to be treated too. He really wanted to make friends, be kind, and create an image that was new. So Mungoo said, visualize the life that you want inside your being and feed it with the images that you want to keep on seeing. Froggy T knew he wanted more laughter and good times in his life. He also knew he wanted peace and no more inner or outer strife. Froggy T realized that if he spent time focusing on who he really wanted to be, then he could make the changes that he needed to see. With that, Froggy T actively put the ferocious dragon to rest so that he could be the version of Froggy T that he considered his best. He thought about things that he really liked to enjoy, like music, sports, playing games, and resting on his Sharpoy. He reflected on how he had been spending his time and realized he hadn't been making his life sweet. Instead, his actions were making his life bitter, like a salt soaked lime. He also wasn't making an impact in a positive way. That's when he knew he had to change and work on the version of Froggy T that he wanted to stay. So Froggy T began to fuel his new interests and make some new friends. He also was able to mend relationships that had come to an end. Froggy T even decided to play the sax. That's how he found out that it helped him calm down and relax. He also noticed and began to see that his music had a positive impact on others while helping him chill and just be. Mungoo had shown him the importance of how to observe, being true to himself, and even how to serve. He taught Froggy T about balance and staying grounded too. He even introduced him to a dish called mushu. Over time, Froggy T had morphed into this smooth and cool dude that was kind, generous, and no longer rude. But when Bunny called that day sounding so upset, he had a moment that he'll never forget. As his empathy grew and his mind was filled with concern, he felt his insides experiencing anger and his stomach started to burn. Then he looked in the mirror and saw anger in his eyes. That's when he knew the ferocious dragon was coming back and Froggy Fu was on the rise. Froggy T opened his drawer and looked at his ninja mask, but then stopped and looked in the mirror again. That's when he heard his conscience ask, Froggy T, what decision are you going to make? Really think about all of your progress and what is at stake. Froggy T now wondered, am I going to go back to the life I had left behind? Or am I going to stay the course and help Bunny find her peace of mind? He remembered all the lessons Mungoo had taught and the inner and outer peace that he actively sought. Then Froggy T sat down, centered himself, and thought about how he could really help Bunny stay calm and empower herself. As a friend, Froggy T knew that he'd like to feel support and be reminded of good strategies, not just the last resort. He made the decision to accompany Bunny on their way to school, remind her of her pride, and play the sax to keep things cool. He would also encourage her to take some deep breaths and remind her that deep breathing helps our nerves get some rest. Froggy T remembered that they could take an alternative route so Bunny could see more options and erase any doubt that she was in this experience all alone or that she would have to be scared or run on home. Once these action steps were clear in his head, Froggy T drifted off to sleep in his bed. The next day, Froggy T walked with Bunny and did everything he had planned. He really enjoyed playing the sax like a one man band. He provided the support that his friend definitely needed and proved to himself that Froggy Fu had been defeated. This life experience was real practice for him to listen to his inner voice and tap into his core being to make the best choice. In that moment, he realized that he had grown into who he wanted to be, the calm, cool dude we all now know as Froggy T. The end. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining me this evening. I wanted to make sure that we took time and acknowledged International Anti-Bullying Day. I hear some of you clapping. Yes, we love some Froggy T and Bunny stories. Yes, so I wanted to make sure we took time and acknowledge International Anti-Bullying Day. I wanted to make sure that we put some more anti-bullying energy back into the world because it is not okay to bully people and it is not okay to be bullied by people. And so we need to make sure that we are promoting peace and positivity and healthy relationships. And so, thank you for taking your time out to spend some time with us this evening for this very special day. I look forward to spending time with you again. And I'm super excited to announce that the next Froggy T and Bunny story will be out in a couple weeks. I'm just waiting for the copies to come in, so I'll be happy to share those with you. If you have not already done so, please be sure to subscribe to one, the Ask Dr. Walls 525 YouTube page, and also to the Adventures of Froggy T and Bunny YouTube page, where there are some soothing sounds and stories and other videos that will be coming up. I try to put up something new each week. All right, so I'm going to lead out with the new Froggy T and Bunny song. I have to get into the studio in order to record it, but it goes like this. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. Come on, everybody, they're leading the way. Froggy T and Bunny have adventures every day. These hip hop tales show us how to get along so we can hop positively through our life song. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. A hip hop tale. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny. It's Froggy T and Bunny, a hip hop tale. All right, y'all. See you soon. Be well. Bye bye.